Hey everyone, Simone here, coming to you. Just doing this quick Facebook Live regarding the cruise line fair that I heard is going on in Dominica. And I just have a couple of questions. I have a couple of questions in the spirit of transparency. I've been trying to get anyone who's attended the event to come on here and just tell us about the event. Let us know what's going on, but unfortunately, I have not had much luck with finding anyone. But I'm hearing some information that I think that needs to be shared in the spirit of transparency. So I wanted to stop by just to provide the information, share the information on what I've been hearing, and just kind of hear from everyone to see if you're receiving similar information as well. So come on in, check in, post a message, let me know that you're here. Don't forget to share the live because I think that this is a very important conversation and it is one that affects a number of people, as you know. And let me go ahead and just share my screen so you will know the program that we are talking about, because I think that it is important that we know exactly what we are signing up for when we decide to dish out $300. Because from what I'm understanding, we were told that it is a $300 fee to be a part of the program for the opportunity, to interview for potential jobs on the cruise ships. But from what I'm hearing, it's a different story. So I want you to share the live because I'm very interested in finding out what is everyone's experience. What has your experience been if you've attended this event? Hey, Annette, nice to see you as always. Don't forget to share the live. Let everyone know that we are here for this important conversation. So what has been your experience? Because I think we are hearing something completely different from what we were told by the person who represented on the radio show. Debbie Murphy, so glad you're addressing this issue. I had lots of questions regarding the 300 application fee. Yeah, Debbie, I think a lot of us have questions. I invited the representative who was on the radio. He is unfortunately very busy with everything that is going on with the fair, so he was not able to join us. But I want to hear from anyone who has gone to the fair, who has already given out the $300. What was your experience? What is it that we still need to know? Roy Labad, nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to share the live. And while everyone is coming in, I'm just going to go ahead and share this video so that others will know that we are here and that we're having this conversation so others can join us as well. So if you know of anyone who has attended the event, could you reach out to them and let them know that we're having this conversation? I think so far they've gone to Grand Bay, and correct me if I'm wrong, they've gone to Grand Bay. They've gone to, I believe, Lio Resource Center was today. And I think they also went to Castle Bruce yesterday. So the cruise line company has gone to several areas so far for this recruitment fair. And I just want to hear the reality of what people are being told when they go to this particular fair. Because let us face it, many of the folks who will go to this fair probably have to scrape that $300 together, right? So they probably have to scrape that $300 together, or probably have somebody, and do forgive me, I'm just sharing the live while I'm talking to you, or have someone from overseas, Western Union, MoneyGram, this amount of money to them. And I am all for seeking opportunities for Dominicans. So at first, when I heard the young man on the radio and everyone was criticizing about the fee, I was one of the folks who was saying, well, you know what? It's an agency fee. Lots of employment agencies have fees that you are required to pay for their services. So I really thought it was that was the case. But I'm coming to find out that there's more to this job fair than I originally thought. So come on in, come on in. Let's see who's joining us so far. We have Annette again, Debbie, Roy, Hendricks, Paul, Lydia, Harrison, and several other people are on the Facebook Live. So I'm not going to be too long, but I wanted to come here and just share some of the information that we were told about this fair. And again, I put up the fair so you can see what we were referring to. So again, I attempted to get anyone who had been to the job fair for the cruise line to come and speak to us. I got feedback from one young man, but unfortunately, he is camera shy, right? But this is what he's saying to me. He says, and I'm going to read it verbatim so that we know this is exactly his words. And keep in mind, this is the experience of only one person. So I can only share what he said to me with regard to this opportunity. And then I want your feedback. I want to know, how are you feeling about what this young man is saying? And if you know of anyone else in Dominica, because I think it is so important that when these opportunities are presented to us, we are presented with all the information that we need to make a decision. So it looks, again, Monday, Grand Bay was the source. Tuesday, they went to Cabritz. Wednesday, today, they went to Layou Resource Center. Tomorrow, Thursday, Castle Bruce. And then Friday, they will be off to Goodwill. So what are we hearing about this particular cruise line job fair? So this is what one young man in Grand Bay who wishes to remain anonymous had to say. He says, first, you have to pay $300 and that the entire process would cost, get ready, the entire process would cost $5,000. Let me repeat that. First, you have to pay $300. So we all heard about the $300 fee that was required as the agency fee, right, to attend the event. So the agency fee was $300. This young man who wishes to remain anonymous is telling us, first, you have to pay $300. The entire process would cost $5,000. And I was very suspicious when I was listening to this infomercial, this presentation from the representative of this particular agency, because something he said struck me, and I'm not sure if you caught that as well. And by the way, let me mind my manners by making sure I'm looking at the Facebook Live to make sure I'm not missing anybody's comments. David Joseph, always great to see you. Madeline Brady, good evening, everyone. Anithia Adams, great to see you. So again, we are talking about the cruise line job fair that is ongoing in Dominica. And like I was saying, I found it particularly suspicious when the representative from the cruise line said that once people were accepted, they would bring their approval letters to the government of St. Lucia and Grenada, and their fees would be covered. So I thought to myself, I thought he was only telling us that there was a $300 fee for the agency fee. So what other fees is he referring to when he said that once you're approved, the government of St. Lucia and Grenada, they were covering the rest of the fees for the applicants? So this is one of the reasons I really wanted to reach out to anyone who had attended the job fair to find out exactly what it means. So this young man again is saying that you pay the $300 and that the entire process would cost $5,000. Now keep in mind, right, this is difficult and hard economic times everywhere in the world. In Dominica and the rest of the world, people are barely scraping by. So I'm betting you that a lot of the folks who are coming up with the $300, it's coming from somewhere else. It's coming from a relative, it's coming from a friend, it is coming from a group of people who have chosen to support them, thinking, hey, if we can get Sally Sue this $300 and just give her a chance for a better life, because at the end of the day, that is what we are all looking for: a better life, opportunities, financial independence for our people. And I want to thank everyone who shared their life so far. Please go ahead and continue sharing, because I would really love to hear from someone who has already attended the job fair. Keep in mind that there are 2 more days of this fair, tomorrow, Thursday, as well as Friday. So back to what I was saying. There is already many of our people are scraping by to get the $300 to attend the fair, just to find out, and you were not given this information beforehand, which is what I find particularly troubling. You were not given the information beforehand that you potentially may have to come up with $5,000 if you are approved. Now, let's think about this logically, right? The young man said that they are recruiting from several Caribbean islands. And I dare to say that I bet you that the recruitment efforts are not only in the Caribbean. So let us think the Caribbean region, the US, Canada, worldwide, these 8 cruise lines are recruiting individuals from all over the world, right? What are the chances of being approved as one of the applicants? And I'm hoping that every Dominican who applies is approved, right? But think about it this way. Even if you are approved, right? Even if maybe you are the 1%, 5% of people who receive the great news that you've received the job on one of the 8 cruise lines. Now you're being told, and you were not told this information in the beginning, which is why I have a problem. You were not given this information upfront, that when you are approved, this young man, and again, I am only speaking from what he has informed me, that now you are supposed to come up with $5,000 to continue the process. So this young man continues, let's call him Jack for the sake of argument. Jack continues, when I ask him, where would anyone be getting $5,000? Good question, Jack, because that is a fact you already scraped by to get the $300 to attend the job fair. Where are you going to get $5,000 from? He said the government would make a loan available to be paid back once you start working. Okay, so I'm going to read the entire communication I received from this young man to you again, just so you can get the complete picture of what we are saying. And we want to say goodnight to Pyro. Pascal, thank you for being here. Is that real or fake? Yes, Pyro, that is what I am trying to figure out. Because again, this is the account from one young man, Dave Bertrand, good to see you. This is the account of one young man who I was able to get information from, because I've been asking since Monday for anyone who has attended this particular cruise line job fair to get in touch with us. Let us know what is going on so we can inform the Dominica public about exactly what are the requirements. And here I was thinking that we were going to have a conversation about the importance of what you wear to an interview, the importance of the way you speak, the importance of being assertive, the importance of a strong handshake, the importance of looking someone in the eye. How do you prepare your resume, right? So this is the conversation I was expecting to have. What were your experience? Are you going to be assigned a particular person to follow up with so that you don't get lost in the crowd where you've paid this $300 and now you're given a 1-800 number and then, you're just circled around because you can't get through to follow up on your application? That's the conversation I thought I would have someone come on to talk about. Unfortunately, no one has agreed to come on. I haven't found anyone to come on to be a part of the program. So again, this is from one young man. I won't even say what part of Dominica that he's from because of the fear of retribution. So again, in totality, first you have to pay 300, and that's the entire process would cost about 5,000. When I asked him where would anyone be getting $5,000 from, he said that the government would make a loan available to be paid back once you start working. Right? So I thought it was really important to come to you if you know anyone who has plans to go to this particular job fair. And again, tomorrow, Thursday, they will be out in Castlebruce and Woodford Hill. And then on Friday, their last stop will be in the Goodwill area. So I thought, having been provided this information, that I would come on here in the spirit of transparency. And I am always for job opportunities for Dominicans. We all need opportunities for financial independence, to earn a living, to be able to support ourselves, to finally be able to move out of our parents' houses, right? So I am for opportunities for Dominicans, but I am also for ensuring that we provide transparent information. We give people all the information that they need to make their own choice. So again, I wanted to pass this information on to you so that if you or anyone you know is planning on going to this job fair, and I truly wish I had this information from Monday night, right? So that those folks who attended on Tuesday and those folks who attended today, Wednesday, would have had this information. But I only received this information last night, right? So I thought it was important to come on here, let you know that I am not discouraging anyone, right? I am not discouraging anyone from going to the job fair. But I want you to know, I want you to have all the information that you need before you go to the job fair. So if you've borrowed that $300 and you have to pay it back to someone, I want you to be able to think long and hard about if you would like to invest that money, because keep in mind, it's non-refundable. It's non-refundable. So I want you to keep in mind that this is money that you will go ahead and pay to the agency. But keep in mind that if you are approved, and we'll be very happy if you got approved, because it's an opportunity for you to get a job. But if you are approved, keep in mind that you may potentially have to come up with $5,000 to continue the process. He did not expand on what the $5,000 would cover. I'm guessing it might be travel to the location where you would receive training. I'm guessing it might be room and board for where you're going to receive the training. He did not tell us what exactly the $5,000 will cover, but he said that you can expect the entire process to cost up to $5,000. So I wanted to share that with you. So let's see what everyone on Facebook is saying. Marvelyn Brady, that's exactly what I got out of the young man's interview. It's an employment agency that will help you with the interview training, resumes, and contacts to the ships. And that is true, Marvelyn. But don't you think he should have also included that there will be other fees? Maybe he didn't want to say 5,000 because that would scare most people away, right? Maybe he didn't want to say 5,000 because, I mean, come on. If you say you're going to pay $300 up front and then you're going to still have to come up with 5,000, I think most people probably wouldn't have attended. So fine. Let's say he didn't want to give the exact number, but at least say that there are other fees to keep in mind that you will also be responsible for in the spirit of transparency, That's all I'm saying. Okay. Marvin as well. Wow. That's not what was said by the young man on the interview with Mr. Douglas on QFM. That is exactly my point. And we need to get this information out there. So please, please, please share this video, share the live, let everyone know about this. Send this message via WhatsApp. Send this message to everyone in Dominica, because you don't know who knows who. And already there's already been 3 days of recruitment where people must have been shocked when they walked into this particular interview, to come to find out, now you said 300, now I have to come up with $5,000 if I am approved. So in my mind, I'm thinking, either which way, I'm going to lose my $300, because I may lose my $300 because there's so many more applicants in the Caribbean and worldwide that I never get the opportunity. Or I may lose my $300 because, yes, I'm approved, but I don't have $5,000. I mean, who among us knows where to get $5,000 tomorrow, right? If you're living the good life, you may have a nice, healthy bank account that you can just pull $5,000 for. But think of the average Dominican. Think of the average Dominican, the average school leaver. The highest rate of unemployment is in school leavers. And yes, the young man said that they recruit from age 21. And I think, he said you can go all the way up to 60 as long as you're healthy. But let's be real. The majority of people who would be interested in that opportunity would be younger people with no responsibilities. Younger people with no children, no jobs. Look, I used to be a flight attendant. I flew with Liat for an entire year before I decided to go and study. And one of the only reasons I became a flight attendant is because I had no chick, no child. I had no responsibilities. I had no husband. I had no daughter. It was me and my support for my mother. So yeah, I could just pick up and leave Dominica and decide, well, I'm going to move to Antigua and become a flight attendant because I had no responsibilities. I was 21. Right? But most of the folks in Dominica who most likely attended this event are younger people, because they see that there's no opportunities in Dominica and they're looking for a chance to go away and earn a living. So let's see what else everyone is saying. Elmira, there should have been more transparency from the inception. And that is all I am saying. I am not here to bash anybody and their agency. I am not here to bash the Ministry of Tourism because they collaborated with this particular agency. I am not here to bash any economic opportunity. As a matter of fact, if you follow me, you know that I'm all about economic opportunity and financial independence for Dominicans. So I am the last person who would be bashing anyone who's ready to provide those opportunities for Dominica. But where is the transparency? Where is the transparency? That is the question that I am asking today. And again, if anyone is on here who can tell me I am wrong, that the information this young man who attended the cruise line job fair has provided with me as firsthand information, if anyone here can tell me that information is completely wrong, I am more than willing to listen. As a matter of fact, I would send you the link to the live and you can come right on up and have a conversation with me. But my point is transparency, transparency, transparency. Anita, unbelievable. I think so too as well, Anita. David Johnson, talk about bait and switch. If what is said by this young man is true, this is yet another scam to make those who are already poor even poorer, and to think that they are in Dominica with the blessings of the tourism department. And this is what I'm wondering. I'm wondering, does the Ministry of Tourism know all this information? Do they as well know that there's a $5,000 potential fee if any of our applicants are successful. Maybe they did not receive the information. Maybe they should have asked. Right? Because as soon as he said that on Q95, I'm not someone who calls the radio, but I was ready to call the radio, but it was the end of the program. So no one was going to be able to get through to ask that question. But as soon as he said that once you have your approval letter in St. Lucia and Grenada, the government is willing to cover your additional fees, I was like, wait, additional fees? You never said anything about additional fees. What is the additional fees? What does it cover? Right? So I was just very interested in finding out. So I'm really happy that despite being camera shy, being afraid of retribution, this young man decided he was not going to go live on Facebook. And I can certainly agree with him for not doing so, because we know what happens in Dominica when you speak out. Right? So I'm happy that he still provided this information, so we can share the information, we can pass it out, and people can make an informed decision. An informed decision. And who knows what else? We don't know, because this is all he was willing to say to me. What did he not say to me is yet another question. All right. Dominican Freedom, thank you for being here. You all do not tired spread rumors. You have to do your medical if you do not have a visa. Oh, thank you. Let's see what Dominica Freedom is saying. This sounds interesting. You all do not tired spreading rumors. You have to do your medical. If you do not have a visa, you must get a visa. The company buy your ticket for you. You all have to do is just save your money. If you get the job, you all expect to go on the ship without medical. You all expect to go on the ship without visa. Rumors, you all never work on a ship. Some of you all. Well, I'm trying to really understand what you're saying at Dominica Freedom, and I want to thank you for providing this information. So it sounds like you're talking about several things in your message. So you're talking about the importance of getting a visa, having a medical, and I understand that that may be part of the fee of the $300. But I want to challenge you, right? Because you're saying that you can save up the money. So in essence, you're saying potentially that $5,000 you can save up the money if you got the job, right? That's not the case. From what this young man is saying to us, that $5,000 has to be paid upfront. And the reason I say this is because if you notice, he's saying that you have to take a loan. So if you could simply save up the money while you're working and be on some kind of payment plan, he would have said it. He would have said, and he wouldn't have been so alarmed by being told about the $5,000. If he had been told that, yes, you will owe $5,000 that you will be able to pay while you're working, that is something completely different from what you're saying. So ideally, what you're saying would be perfect. I would be gung-ho, happy, excited for our Dominicans if that was the case, right? So you get the job, and now they say to you, Jack, that's what we're calling him, you now owe us $5,000. But here's the good news, Jack. As you're working, we will do salary withdrawals until you pay the $5,000. That is not what the young man is saying. He's saying you have to come up with the $5,000 up front. That's the difference. Because then why would you choose to take a loan? If you did not have to come up with the $5,000 up front, why would he be stating that he was told to go to the aid bank to get a loan? It is quite obvious that he was told that the money has to be paid upfront. But I'm very happy, Dominica Freedom, that you're telling us the importance of getting a visa, right? and also the importance of the medical. So if you have any other information that you would like to contribute, Dominica Freedom, please feel free to do so, because again, we're trying to make heads and tails out of all this information so people can have transparency. People can have the information that they need to make a decision about if they would like to attend this job fair tomorrow. And I see we have several more comments, but thank you again, Dominica Freedom, for that. Agnes, that doesn't even make sense. Almira Henry, is there any truth to John Doe's statement? There should have been a lot more transparency from the inception. And again, we reached out to the young man from the agency. He was unable to be with us. And we've been asking for other people who attended so far the last 3 days of this cruise line job fair to come on here, tell us your experience. Maybe Jack was given the wrong information, and maybe Jack should receive information that you have received that may clarify. Maybe Jack should have received the information that Dominica Freedom is telling us, and Jack got the wrong information. But I'm curious about why. Give me a second. I'm just curious about why anyone would mention a loan from the Ed Bank if Jack information was incorrect, right? So if anyone was there, anyone knows of anyone, call them. Let them know that we're doing this Facebook Live and we're looking for information to help everyone to better make a decision. Lydia Harrison, perhaps $5,000 is for the visa, the physical and visa costs, and the travel. Right. But Lydia, don't you think that information should have been provided up front to let everyone know that it is not only the $300 fee? That is where I am stuck. I am stuck on the fact that everyone on Q95, and Q95 reaches like tens of thousands of people all over the world. We were told on Q95 a $300 fee. So Lydia and everyone, don't you think that if he did not want to say the amount of money, the least he could have said was, please keep in mind that there will be additional fees if you're approved for the physical, for the visa, for the airline tickets that will take you to wherever the training was conducted. You don't have to say the amount. You can simply say, and he had an opportunity to do so because someone raised a question where he could have volunteered that information and he chose not to. So I just want us to have an honest conversation about what we think of what's going on. Agnes, not enough information. Simone, Debbie, from Debbie. Simone, is it possible for you to speak to someone representing the government to get clarity on this? Debbie, do you know how many times since I've been doing Facebook Lives for a year and a half that I've reached out to a government official? Do you know how many government officials have elected to join me? And again, I don't speak politics on my programs. I come, we have an honest conversation. We talk about issues. We don't call anybody's name. As you can see, I'm yet to call anybody's name on this program because I don't. Because people's names are not important. It's the issues that we're dealing with that's important in my mind. So Debbie, if you or anyone knows of a government official that can come by and provide clarity, I would be more than happy to get that information out to everyone, because on this platform, we reach an audience of about 19,000 visitors a month. So I think this is a perfect nonpartisan platform to stop by and share the information we need in the spirit of clarity. But Debbie, thank you for that suggestion. That's a great suggestion. But again, I have had no luck with getting any government official to join us on this program. And I keep inviting them. So I will keep inviting them. Okay, thank you for that. Astrid, a loan given to a person to get a job to pay when working. Yep. So you would have to be approved for the loan first. And then we go right back to that conversation that we always have that many times, maybe due to the fault of the client or maybe due to the fault of the bank. We don't know because we don't have the information. So we're speculating that many times we hear folks report that they went to the bank to try to get a loan and it never works out. So we have to keep educating our people. And that's what I'm here for. So if anyone from the Aid Bank wants to come on over and tell us the 5 top reasons that most people do not get approved for loans, so people know. I really don't think I'm asking for too much. Am I asking for too much, guys? I really don't think I'm asking for too much just to have someone come by and just tell us the information that we need. So let's see who else is joining us, because I don't want to get carried away and miss anyone's comments on the Facebook Live or anyone who has joined us. And I forgot to say good evening to them. So let's see. David Joseph, we already said you. Ingrid Paul is watching. Cheryl Dangleben, thank you for being here. Jay Love. Royson Sanford is here. Thank you for being here, Royson. Janice Abbott. Simon is watching. Jan Joseph. Niger, I will take your comment in a minute. Let's just say hi to the folks who are not posting a comment, but who are here. And I can see that they're here. But most times, it's better to post a comment because sometimes I don't always see who's joining us. But I want to thank everyone who's here. Colvin Theophil is here. Peter Dover, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Catherine Nicholas Lowe is here. James Lawrence is here. Izulu Kati Man is here. Sabina, good evening. Thank you for being here. Laurencia Joanna Alfred, thank you for being here. And don't forget, share the live. We're still hoping to have someone who attended the job fair and can either confirm or deny this information that our friend, we're calling him Jack, is saying. And if you just tuned in, I was just reading a message from someone who we contacted about his experience going to the cruise line job fair. And he said to us, first, you have to pay the $300 that was discussed, mentioned on Q95 when the representative of the cruise line job fair did the interview with Sean Douglas. And then he says the entire process would cost $5,000. When I asked him where would one be getting $5,000, he said that the government would make a loan available to be paid back once you start working. So that is what we are talking about, the need for transparency that we as Dominicans should have been told upfront, that in addition to the $300 fee for the agency, there could be potential costs for other things. And Debbie and Dominica Freedom have already told us what other things you could be paying for. So your visa, your medical, your airline ticket to get to maybe where you need to go for the training. So these are all things that may be covered. But why weren't we given this information up front so that we can have a full understanding of if we want to pay that initial $300 and we know where that $5,000 would be coming from if we are approved. So let us continue to take some of the comments. And I want to thank everyone who's joining us here on this Facebook Live. I want to thank you for being here. It shows that you support Dominica, you support the financial independence of our Dominicans, and you too are interested in ensuring that everyone, the information is transparent and we know what we are signing up for. Agnes Romney Brown, why this job fair is an issue. I don't have $300, so I will not go. Simple. I agree, Agnes. I agree. You don't have the $300, you won't go. But other people will scrape by to get the $300 as a chance to be able to earn a better life. So we're not criticizing the job fair. We're not criticizing the job fair. We are not criticizing the fact that the agency chooses to charge $300. That's their price. Many agencies, employment agencies up here in the US, charge a fee. That's their price. If you don't want to pay the fee, then don't go. Simple. I agree, Agnes. If you don't want to go, don't pay the $300 fee. My point is, be transparent. Let people know that if you choose to pay the $300, if you choose to go to the job fair, there are other fees you're going to be responsible for. Period. End of story. That is what I'm talking about. Dominica Freedom, let's go. If the ship company, one, they can afford to get cheap labor with those Philippines and Indonesians, where it will be less expensive for them. They allowed Caribbean people and Caribbean countries to work with them. Nobody's complaining, Dominica Freedom. You all complaining. Who's complaining? We're not complaining. We're asking for transparency. That's something completely different, my friend. If you want the job, take it or leave it. That's all those people. I'm not begging you all. Nope. Dominica Freedom, nobody's complaining. Nobody's complaining. All we're saying is be transparent. Okay? But again, thank you for your contribution to the conversation, but we are not complaining. We're simply saying, let us know the whole picture. Show us the entire picture so that we know when we pay that $300, that is not the end of the fees that we may be responsible for. But again, Dominica Freedom, thank you for your contribution. David Joseph, Almera Henry, transparency is never forthcoming when the intent is to deceive. Those are the words of David Joseph. Okay? Agnes, this is one person's opinion, not facts. I too agree, Agnes, which is why I'm asking if anyone had a different experience, right? And I'm so happy we can come on here and have a civil conversation. We can disagree. We can say, well, you know, we can analyze things. We can take things apart and say, well, maybe that's not the right information, Simone, and maybe it's not. But again, who's going to give us a second opinion? I've asked all over the place. I've asked for government officials. I've asked for people who have attended. I've even asked the guy who was representing the cruise ship. But I can share the one piece of information that I have received with the hopes that others who may have received other information will be able to tell us, well, here is what I was told. Even if there was like a little pamphlet that could have been shared to tell us this is exactly what you will be responsible for, that would be helpful. But Agnes, you're right. This is one person's opinion, not facts. So who's going to give us the facts? Who's available? Let's bring them on. Let's talk. But thank you, guys. Marvelyn Brady, if this is for visa and medical payments, is the agency taking it after you get the job? Just like some job agency does in the US, after they get you jobs, they take a little every month. That would be ideal. That is what I just said. That would be ideal if they took a little bit of the money so you wouldn't even feel it. It would just be a salary deduction every month. But that is not what the young man is saying. He's saying that it does not come from the back end. You have to provide that $5,000 up front. And that is where I am stuck. Because why would they be telling him if he could pay for it monthly? Let's think about this. If he could pay for it on a monthly basis, why would they be telling him, well, go to the aid bank? Answer that question for me. Why would they be telling him to get a loan if he could simply pay the money a little bit at a time? That would be ideal. That would be so perfect. Because that way it does not become a strain. It does not become a burden. Right? So I'm really enjoying the suggestions that everyone is raising because I think those are all important points for consideration. Dominica Freedom, those people come to Dominica already in never had all those talk there. Dominica Freedom, I don't know what you're talking about. So if you want to clarify that, you can go ahead and do so. But I think talk is very important because we can see the implications of talk. Because again, here you have folks who may be scraped by to come up with that $300 thinking, wow, if I get this opportunity, it's a whole new life for me. It's a whole new life. I'll be able to support myself. I'll be able to support my family. I'll be able to have an opportunity to see the world on a cruise ship. And the other questions I wanted to ask this young man from the cruise line job fair, what are the hours should I expect to work? People who've worked on cruise ships have all told us it's grueling. It is back-breaking work. What are the experiences? Is there someone I can speak to who has worked on a cruise line? So I had a lot of questions for him, but he's busy. Unfortunately, he has a job fair to run for a whole week, so I can understand. Manuel Pierre, good evening, Dr. Simone. I think something fishy going on about this job thingy. So, we're just trying to get to the bottom line of what it is, and we're getting some great feedback, so I'm really happy. Dominican Freedom, there are people in Dominica that are willing to spend their money to get the job done. If you can afford it, you are for it. If you cannot afford it, leave it alone. Dominican Freedom, we addressed that already, right? We addressed that already. So yes, if you can afford it, you should go, but the company has a responsibility to be transparent. That's the bottom line. The company has a responsibility to let people know that the $300 is not the only fee. You have to get a loan, or maybe Dominica Freedom, you're sitting on $5,000. You can easily just whip out your debit card, and once you get the job, pay the $5,000. But that's not the reality for most people, right? But thank you again. Agnes, Simone, it sounds like you are bashing. Nope, absolutely not. And it's unfortunate that you feel that way, Agnes. But again, we're simply asking for clarity. And unfortunately, if people are feeling that we're challenging them, that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate, because I think when we have companies come in to represent themselves and to provide opportunities for their people, they need to be transparent, right? They need to be transparent, and we would welcome any guest who would like to give us more information about this particular situation. And again, we will continue to bring you information. We will continue to get you information and bring it to you. And we will continue to invite everyone who has the information, who can potentially help us, because I think it is quite alarming when you have someone who comes by and says, oh, pay $300, we'll give you access to 8 cruise lines, 8 cruise companies that you can choose for. Great news. That is great news. I agree. We will have you on our roster for a year where you will have interviews. All very good news. I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. But when you fail to let people know that, hey, there are other things that you may potentially have to pay for, don't even mention the $5,000. Don't mention it. It's too much. But at least say, please keep in mind that there are other things that you may be responsible for financially that you may have to pay for. That's called transparency. And that's called providing the big picture, all the information people need, right? So as for me, that's the information I would have liked to know before paying the $300 I scraped by to get. So, we can agree and we can disagree. That is why we're here, to have a civil conversation, to have a conversation where we can exchange ideas without calling anybody's name, without degrading anyone. That's what we're here for. And I so enjoy these conversations. Almira, absolutely. The average Dominican does not have the financial resources to pursue this endeavor. I smell another ploy to have another pool of new beggars, voters. Clyde Gregoire, drink water and educate yourself. Not all here live have guests. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying, Clyde. You might want to repost that. J Love, it is still out even if it's not on Facebook. Let's see who else we have. Jan Joseph, tell us the truth. That's all we're looking for. That's all we're looking for. And it's so unfortunate that, once you ask for the truth, then folks want to attack you. It's unfortunate. But we're going to continue to ask for the truth. We're going to continue to ask for transparency. We're going to continue to say that Dominicans are struggling. Most people, I promise you, most people did not have that $300 sitting around. Most people had to have somebody send them that money via MoneyGram, Western Union, or have folks on the ground loan them the money. And all we are saying is just let us know that there are additional fees that you will be responsible for, even if you get the job. So, unfortunately, if people think that is considered bashing, if people think that is considered, you're against this or you're against that, we are all entitled to our opinion. Okay? We are all entitled to our opinions, and I am enjoying this exchange. So keep the feedback coming. Keep the feedback coming. Let's see. Jayla LaFonza Moore, shifts recruitment process. They will walk you through the process and answer. I love it. Thank you so much, Jayla. So this is probably the best place to start, and that is what we should have been provided with upfront. Website. Thank you, Jayla. Thank you so much. So much. That will walk you through the process and answer your inquiries. Please do your research and contact the company directly. Najla, gracias. That's all we're asking for. Information is power. Give us the information so we can make informed decisions. So if anyone is planning on attending the event tomorrow, you know someone who's planning on attending the event, you would like to share this information, I encourage you to check out that website that Najla is posting to help us, because that is what we're here for, to exchange information, to get educated, to get the information that we need so we can make an informed decision on whether or not we want to pay that $300 upfront. So we have all the information. Clyde Gregoire, it looked like, okay, Clyde, we're going to leave that alone because we have no information that election is coming in Dominica. So Clyde, you're a true friend. You support me a lot, but let's not go on that. Okay, let's leave that alone and let's stay focused on what we're talking about. Snapper Laura, always great to see you. Let's see, am I missing anyone on the Facebook Live? Because, my comments don't always show me everyone who's here. Snapper, I thought $300 is the $5,000 a different fee besides the $300? That's what we're trying to find out. And the other question I had is, well, if I pay the $300 and I am approved, does the $300 get deducted from the $5,000? Just simple questions. Simple questions. And if folks want to attack folks for asking questions, nothing we can do about that. But we're going to keep asking questions. We're going to keep asking for transparency. And we're going to keep asking for information so we can have the whole picture and then we can make a decision. So thank you, Snapper, for that. Let's see. Yes. Najla, please do your due diligence. It is a simple Google search. Wow. Najla, I couldn't agree with you more. A simple Google search, type in the name of the company and get your information. Thank you so much for that. Annette Phillip, that's what I also think the $5,000 is for: visa, medical, and travel, most likely. So at least we accomplished something this evening, right? We accomplished something. We kind of figured out what the $5,000 is for. Maybe visa, medical, transportation, airline ticket. But couldn't we have just been told that up front? What would have been so difficult about saying $300 fee goes to the agency, but please keep in mind that you will be responsible for additional fees for your visa, for your medical, for your transportation, for maybe your accommodations, wherever you're going to be, maybe for your training. That's all we're asking. Why couldn't that have been said? Instead of making us think that it's $300, it covers everything, and we sail through. Maybe we were ignorant. Maybe we were naive to think that. But if we're not given the information, we're going to make assumptions. If you don't tell us that there are other things that we will need to pay for, it doesn't take a PhD to realize that, you know what I mean, that information is needed on everything that needs to be covered. Okay? Is Lucati, I'm just going to call you man, it's easier. 25 years ago, guys were paying 2,000 plus to get on a ship. $5,000 sounds right. Okay, thank you for that. All right, Annette, the 300 is just the membership fee, non-refundable for a year from what the guy said. Yep, that's what I understood as well. And it is the $300 fee is for 1 year membership. I got that too. That's what I also think the 5,000 is for. Visa medicals. Jan, people, she is just saying, if there was another fee, it should have been said, so people can put themselves in order. She didn't have a problem with the fee itself, but they have to give information to people to prepare themselves. Jan, I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you for that. James Bruno is watching. Phyllis Alfred, wow. Catherine Nichols, I agree, be transparent. We're going to delete this comment because it looks like a potential scam. So let's just block this person so that they won't come back. Thank you for that. Clyde, if these young people are not working, why burden them with a loan? The government should take some of that passport money and cover those who qualify. They are squandering so much of the passport funds that it's been to do for the young people rather than have them beg or line up at the red bus. But I guess the PM feels high when people come to beg him. Phyllis, be transparent. That's all we're saying. I think get it. Be transparent. That's all we're saying. 1997, I went to a cruise ship job fair. There was no fee. I did my interview and was successful, and I only paid for my medical, tickets to Barbados, and my visa. The cruise company paid my tickets. Perfect. That's what we're talking about, right? So good for you, Ty Francis, and thank you so much for sharing that. Just tell us that there is going to be a medical, you're going to need a visa, you're going to need transportation, so there are additional fees, right? I'm a very simple person. I would understand that, but just be transparent, be open. Let people know that it is not only $300. Phyllis, anything job asking me for money up front looks like a scam to me, so I would not fall for it. Thank you, Phyllis. Snapper, something isn't sounding right about the $5,000. Why would the government allow people to take a loan for $5,000 to pay to get a job they are not guaranteed to get? How are they going to pay back the loan if they don't get the job? That's a great question, Snapper, because the other thing that comes to mind is there a probationary period? Most of us who have started new jobs know that there is a probationary period, okay? So I pay the $300, I get through, I get the job, I come up with the $5,000, I take a loan from the aid bank, which is what our friend Jack is telling us he was told to do, take a loan from the aid bank to pay the $5,000. What happens if there's a probationary period, 6 months, and I lose the job, but I still have the loan to pay? Just questions, folks, just questions. No accusations, no bashing nobody, no calling no names, just questions. Who is going to answer our question? Where's Thaddeus? I forget to invite Thaddeus. This should be a candid conversation. Okay, I digress. Glenda, good evening. Nice to see you. Rosalind Sevra, great to see you. David Joseph, Snapper Laura, this is only if they get the job. Yes, thank you for that. Snapper, nice program. Simone, thanks. Thai Francis, I never paid to get on the ship. I only paid for medical and ticket to Barbados. The company paid for tickets to come to the ship. So we're just exchanging. You hear his experience? That is one person's experience. What Jack told us, that's his experience. We're just looking for experiences. Tell us your experience. Tell us if this makes sense to you. Let us find someone who's willing to come on. I am available all week. I'm available all week. I work online. I am home. Well, I go to the gym in the morning, but I'm home all day long. Anyone who wants to have the conversation, to enlighten us, to give us their experience, anyone from the Ministry of Tourism, Lord, all you try to hear me beg. I'll start beg, but I'll keep begging because I think it's important. Anyone who has additional information, anyone who knows more about this job fair and what's the other fees that Jack, our friend who attended the job fair, is being told he has to pay. $5,000, a loan from the aid bank. Just give us the information. That's all we're asking. Just give us the information so we can make an informed choice, an informed decision on if we want to attend the job fair tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday. Marva Charles, excuse me. Hi, years ago, my family used help their family with the money to work on the ship. I believe in transparency. We need to ask questions, and what the money is used for, is it for processing only? Rosalind Severi, great to see you, Rosalind. Great program. Stay focused. Just asking questions. Madeline, so you are saying this is a normal procedure to getting jobs on the cruise ships, or no tricks is happening here? Madeline, that's what we're trying to figure out. That's what we're trying to figure out. Glenda, well, have to watch the replay after the program. Yes, Glenda, please do, because we're talking about a very important job fair that's going on in Dominica right now, and we're hoping that everyone will share this information. Rosalind, I think the information was just missed. Things are different in this time. I think it is understood. Absolutely, Rosalind, but let's just be transparent. Don't give the impression that you only pay $300 and that's the end of the story. Let folks know that if you are accepted for the job, you will also be responsible to pay what we as a group have come up with as what we think we have to pay, because no one is here to really tell us the facts. So please tell us that in addition to the $300, you will be responsible for paying your medical, for paying your visa, and for paying your transportation. And what else we have to pay for upfront? Because they're asking folks who are going to the job fair to get a loan from the aid bank for $5,000 if you are approved. Okay, so I think we get the picture. Glenda, transparency avoids confusions, headache, misunderstanding. Yeah, is that EC dollars? Yeah, Rosalind, I would assume it's EC dollars. I would hate to think it's 5,000 US. No, I think it's EC. I think it's EC. Rosalind Sever, I was wondering myself. I'm going to guess it's EC. Najla, that's going to be our final comment. Najla, each cruise ship company has a list of approved recruiters, and they will share the list if you ask. It is recommended not to pay the recruiter as the cruise line is already paying them per head. I know quite a few folks who have worked there. Also check out YouTube, a great resource. Najla, you can email me at pushpast10@gmail.com, because it sounds like you have a lot of information that we might need. So pushpast10@gmail.com if you would love to come on and just help us to understand all this information. So again, each cruise ship company has a list of approved recruiters, and they will share the list if you ask. It is recommended not to pay a recruiter as the cruise line is already paying them per head. I'm just going to leave that alone. Royal Caribbean is a very good company. I know quite a few folks who have worked there. Also check out YouTube, a great source. Thai, now in 2000, what happened? They find the company was paying for tickets because some persons used the tickets to come to the US. They jump ship. So they decided that people buy their own tickets. Thai, Najla, anyone else who would like to be a part of this conversation, I welcome you to join me. Pushpast10, pushpast10@gmail.com if you would like us to continue this information. Again, the recruitment fair is tomorrow. Let's see where again. They're going to be tomorrow, Thursday, they will be in Casa Bruce and Woodford Hill. And Friday, they will be in Goodwill. So again, if you know anyone, if you are in Dominica and you plan to attend this job fair, or you know anyone, or you think everyone should have this information, I encourage you to share the live. Let everyone know that we are seeking transparency, because one young man who was too camera shy to join the Facebook Live, or maybe he feared retribution if he did, told us that in addition to the $300, when he paid the money, he was informed that if he is approved for this cruise line job, he would be responsible for another $5,000. And again, all we are doing is asking for transparency, asking for all the information that Dominicans need to make an educated decision as to if they would like to go on Thursday and Friday to pay the $300. And again, I do apologize. I wish I had received this information from the young man on Monday night, so that I would have been able to have this live yesterday, Tuesday, so that everyone who went to the job fair today would have had the information. And again, I will end by saying, I am not bashing anybody's job fair. I am all. Did you see my virtual carnival? I paid DJs, right? With the support of Annette Phillip, Rosalind Sevre, Q95, Houston Afro Creole Festival, Havis Badoui, and a whole bunch of sponsors. I begged, got money, and paid DJs. That is how much I believe in the economic development of Dominica. That is how much I believe in putting money in people's pockets. So I'm the last person who will ever come on a Facebook Live and try to cry down anybody's job fair, try to bash anybody's job fair. But I'm the first person who will say, give us all the information. No stones left unturned. Give us all the information so we can make an informed decision, so that that $300 we scrape by to attend your job fair, we know exactly what we're paying for, and we know that if we are approved for this job, we know that we're going to be responsible for another $5,000 if we are approved. That's all we're saying. And we will continue asking questions. And again, I do apologize if anyone thinks by simply asking questions we are bashing anyone. I apologize. Have a great night, everyone. Don't forget, follow Push Past 10. We have a big surprise coming up for you, I think tomorrow night. You're not going to want to miss it. Follow Push Past 10. Me, Simone Matthew. Always happy to be with you. Always happy to engage in a great conversation. I just, and it's interesting because in my house, I don't really like to talk. I'm a very quiet person. But when I'm passionate about something, I will not stop talking. All right. Glenda, have a good night. Oh my God, I'm missing people now. Okay, I gotta big up people before I leave. Hector, nice to see you. Phyllis Alfred, did you say how many people they're looking for to work? Nope, no information, Phyllis. Glenda, Thai Francis, makes sense to do that then. Danilia, Anton, great discussion. Thank you, Danilia. Phyllis, did you say what amount of persons? No, I don't know. Unfortunately, we don't. Marvin, great discussion. Well, wasn't it really a discussion, Marvin? I was just like talking to myself, but I was talking to you guys. So thank you for having this discussion with me. Hector, you must pay that $300 now. Yep. Soon as you walk in, first thing, $300. Debbie Murphy, great job. Simone, no bashing going on. Thank you, Debbie. Rosalind, you are correct. Must be clear. Glenda Shillingford, blessed night. Simone, thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. Again, don't forget to share this information. Let everyone know this important information, especially those who are on the ground, who are getting ready to pay that $300 tomorrow and Friday. Please share this information. And I look forward to being back with you right here on Push Past 10. Thank you for your support as we grow from 19,000 visitors a month to the sky is the limit. Thai, you were excellent. Thank you so much for all the information you shared. I know the hard work on board to see a young man or young woman pay all that money to get on board the ship, and they don't want to be on board. That money gone. Thai, I would love it if you come on and share your experiences with us. And anyone else who would like to contribute, we look forward to hearing from you. Again, pushpast10, PUSHPASD10 at gmail.com. With that, I wish you a pleasant good evening, a restful night, a good night's rest, and a productive rest of your week until we see you again, maybe tomorrow. So don't forget to follow Push Past 10. I wish you well. Take care.